You can hear the sounds of the sorrow. You can taste the fear. And yet there are a couple of emotions strung through the astral that are bright, keening sounds. There's the dull aura of Black Cat and the bright aura of Minwano beside your comatose form. If you were to think yourself over to Bellevue, it would take a mere half a second to go.
Yep, and that's what she does.
Yeah, so you think yourself over to Bellevue. So are you heading to the residential location of this family?
Yes. What does a girl who's homeschooled do all day?
Ah, well, you're about to find out. So,
Hopefully.
the family of Harold Knight, Madison Khan, and Nicole Knight live in Bright Shine Living, a high-class series of apartments in the middle of Bellevue. The world blurs as you warp towards it, as you slow down and come to a stop in the astral. It's a completely new landscape. There's a bright, tinging sound in your ears. It's hope. Hope sounds like that, you know, optimism. This is a rich enough place that people still, you know, care and like things even. But you float over invisibly to Bright Shine Living. It's an apartment tower about 15 stories tall. And you see a couple of things just as you look. You don't see any, you know, large magical constructs that you would recognize from your training. But on closer inspection, especially towards the ground level floor, you do notice alarm wards on the building. If you tried to project inside it through the door, you might set off a alarm. You also know from your formal training that sustained spells and active foci and dual-natured creatures would set this off. Smartly, you choose to avoid this and just go through a wall because as a projecting astral entity, walls just are opaque rather than impassable. You see, yeah, that's what you see from the outside. There's a throng of people in downtown Bellevue, many auras and energies floating around you, but far below, you're flying high above street level at the moment. What would you like to do, eh? You could just project in
Um,
through the wall, or take what you've learned and go to a different location. You
well,
do
let's
actually know from the data that was given to you by the Johnson exactly what floor Harold Knight lives on. It's 12 out of 15.
Okay. Well, let's I suppose it would be handy to know if the girl is at home, and if not, to know we have to locate her if we plan on relocating them. So yeah, let's project in through the wall, I guess.
Floating up to the 12th floor and just going through the wall, which reveals itself to be nothing more than a tingly cloud against your astral skin. You come into a bedroom in an apartment. From its position and dimensions, you quickly intuit that there's one apartment per floor in this building. The bedroom itself is large, looks like the master bedroom, and is empty. It's a mess though. Well, half of it is a mess. One side of the room is covered with women's clothing, shoes, and a single bed that is, you know, rumpled and unmade. There's a dresser with many cosmetics on it. The other side of the room is near Spartan, pristine. with very exacting corners tucked into its single bed. It seems there's a bit of a difference in personality between the husband and the wife in this family. If you were to project further out into the main area of this apartment, you would see a solitary aura sitting on the couch. It's relatively small-sized and seems to be doing something in AR you cannot see from your astral form.
Naturally. Well, so the girl is at home. Let's just get a quick, a sensor real quick, just to have that knowledge should we need to find her in the future. Really? Really?
So, the person is a mundane, nervous-ish person who has what you assume is a data jack, as it is a relatively small subaware implant at the base of the skull. And you note down their aura to recognize later, if you need to.
Yeah, that was, I guess 2 hits is enough. That was basically all I was going for, was just to have her aura known. Okay. So, well, that's actually really all I wanted to accomplish here. Hey!
If that's all you wanted to accomplish, you're not going to scout out anything else in the building while you're here?
Oh, okay, well, I suppose that knowledge could be handy. Yeah, thank you. A really needs common sense to help me.
Yeah. So, being a high lifestyle sort of place, you don't expect security in the apartments. So you float over to the area that represents sort of the entryway and the hallway or landing in this tower block. You see an elevator and a set of stairs. And you see a distinct astral trail that wanders up and down the stairs. In fact, you see 2 astral trails. Whatever created them isn't present at the moment, but has been possibly recently and possibly within a couple of hours. You won't know until you take a closer look.
Yeah, let's take a moment to take that closer look. What is that? Another sensing?
Yes, it would be a sensor.
That's better.
Yes. So the first is a watcher construct. It's a very simple Force 2 magical construct. But it has the astral signature of the creating magician. Thankfully, this means that you can tell it quite easily apart from the second astral signature, which is that of a hellhound, a paracritter you studied in your corporate training. It's often used as a magical addition to physical security.
Right. Well, knowing that, probably shouldn't stick around too much longer. Because there's no, telling how long, if they have rounds, when they'll be back around for another pass. So yeah, probably shouldn't stick around.
Alright then.
Yeah, let's do that whole getting back to my body thing.
You just will yourself back to your body and sit up. You've been gone for 30 seconds. And you are back in the dive bar in Tacoma. Maybe you think to yourself that that was kind of cool. Maybe you're a little scared of, leaving your physical body behind. How do you feel?
Mm, a little bit of both, probably. Especially because probably once she gets back to her body, she realizes she wasn't behind a barrier of any kind. And that's not really a smart thing to do. A thing that I also didn't think of until halfway through that. I was like, oh, yeah. Anyway.
All right. With the astral reconnaissance done, I guess you guys are going to go find the trail of the wife. Madison Khan, correct? Is this your plan, or would you like to do something else?
Nope, I think that's our plan to at least noon.
Just checking her out.
So the first thing you realize once you get down towards downtown Bellevue is that the traffic is a honking, snarling gridlock. You have to abandon your cars at least a couple of blocks away from the middle of town to even make reasonable progress. You're clearly walking along the sidewalk at 5 times or more the traffic speed. It's just poorly engineered at the moment and complete gridlock. The second is that thankfully, those of you who've changed into slightly fancier outfits fit in quite well. Cheap, but, attempting to go upwards suits like Minuano's are stock and standard, but every so often fancier clothes like the armoured dress of Black Cat or A's suit. You walk along, heading towards the Boutique de France, a importer of a variety of luxury items from France, where approximately 40 minutes ago, due to travel times and a couple of other things, Madison Khan checked into. Interestingly enough, there is actually a doorman on this shopping arcade. He's wearing a top coat and tails, and seems to be not exactly bouncing people, but ensuring that people going inside have enough money. How do you approach this?
I will have like a 5 New Yen cred stick in like one hand, just like easily, subtly visible, I guess. And as I pass him, I'm going to give him 5 New Yen, just as a tip.
Do you have any kind of common sense or social skill that would let you tell you, oh, if you're using it as a tip? Okay. So you're like, keep up the good work, my man. And just,
Right, yeah.
Okay, cool, sorry. I thought you were going to bribe him. And
I did too. Until he said
I'm
shit.
like, 5 New Yen is
yeah.
not a bribe. If
No,
you're just
no,
tipping
it's-
him, like, openly,
I'm
sir,
just
keep up the
tipping him.
work. Yeah. No,
Yeah.
he accepts the tip quite gracefully, pockets the cred stick, and just nods to you as you walk inside. Clearly, your manner of clothing and manner of acting indicate, yeah, you totally belong here.
Oh, right. So this is like a shopping mall or something?
Yes, but there's very few people around because it's a luxury shopping mall, and they're keeping, riffraff and wage
The
slaves
rabble.
out.
Right.
So all the storefronts are very understated and reserved. There's only maybe 5 things on display in the storefront. Each storefront in this shopping mall. There's names like Lewis's and the Grand Importer. It's quite tasteful.
So Black Cat is going to try to be subtle and look for Madison Khan and just get eyes on her.